Hi, Stephen King here, and I'm going to read to you from a novel that's coming out in September. It's called Holly, and it's about Holly Gibney. I've written, I think, 6 times about Holly and her friends, Barbara and Jerome Robinson, and I'm always interested to come back to them and see what they're doing, Holly in particular, but in this case, I want to read to you about Barbara Robinson, who's discovered that she's not only enjoys writing poetry, but that she's very, very good at it. In fact, she's so good that she's been shortlisted for something called the Penley Prize, which is a big poetry prize. Comes with a gift for the winner of $25,000, and you get the book published. The only fly in the ointment for Barbara is that she has to write an essay about what poetry means to her or what her poetry is about, and she doesn't seem to have any good ideas for that essay. So she's struggling with it, and that's what I want to read. While Holly is smoking in the parking lot of the Sugar Heights Boutique shopping mart, Barbara Robinson is staring uselessly into space. She shut off all the notifications on her computer and phone, allowing only calls from her parents and Jerome to ring through. Those little red check me out circles by the text and mail icons are too tempting. The Penley Prize essay, a requirement for the 5 finalists, has to be in the mail by the end of the month, and that's only 4 days away. Make it 3, actually. She wants to take her essay to the post office on Friday and make absolutely sure of that postmark. Being eliminated because of a technicality after all this would be crazy making. So she bends to the work. Poetry is important to me because horrible, like the first line of a middle school book report, delete. Poetry matters because worse, delete. My reason for delete. Delete, delete. Barbara shuts off her computer, spends some more time staring into space, then gets up from her desk and shucks off her jeans. She pulls on a pair of shorts, adds a sleeveless tee, ties back her hair in a sloppy ponytail, and goes running. It's too hot to run. The temperature's got to be topping 90, but it's all she can think of to do. She circles the block, and it's a long one. By the time she gets back to the house where she will live with her parents only until she starts college and begins another life, she's sweating and gasping for breath. Nevertheless, she goes around the block again. Mrs. Caltrop, who's watering her flowers under an enormous sun hat, looks at her like she's crazy. Probably she is. In front of her computer, looking at the blank screen and the flashing cursor that seemed to mock her, she felt frustrated and, face it, scared, because Olivia refuses to help, because her mind was as blank as the screen. But now, running full out with sweat darkening her shirt and trickling down the sides of her face like extravagant tears, she realizes what was beneath the fright and frustration. She's angry. She feels fucking toyed with, made to jump through hoops like a circus dog. Back in the house, for the time being all hers with her mother and father at their respective jobs, she takes the stairs 2 at a time, leaves a path of her clothes in the hallway on her way to the bathroom, then gets in the shower with the handle turned all the way to C. She lets out a scream and clutches herself. She sticks her throbbing face in the cold spray and screams again. It feels good to scream, as she learned on that day 2 months ago when she did it with Marie Duchamp. So she does it a 3rd time. She gets out of the shower shivering and covered with goosebumps, but feeling better, clearer. She towels up and down until her skin is glowing, then goes back to her room, picking up her clothes on the way. She tosses them on the bed, goes naked to her computer, reaches for the button that turns it on, and thinks, no, wrong. She grabs one of her school notebooks from the shelf beside her desk, flips past scribbled notes on Henry VII and the War of the Roses and comes to a blank page. She tears it out almost carelessly, not ignoring the frayed edge, but glad of it. She's thinking of something Olivia said to her one morning in one of their meetings. She told Barbara it came from a Spanish writer named Juan Ramon Jimenez, but she, Olivia, first heard it from Jorge Castro. She said Jorge claimed it was the cornerstone of everything he ever wrote or hoped to write. If they give you lined paper, write the other way. Barbara does that now, writing her essay quickly across the blue ruled lines. According to the Penley requirements, it is not to exceed 500 words. Barbara's is much shorter than that. And it turns out Olivia is here to help her after all, with something else she said on one of those morning meetings that have changed her life, maybe more than college ever will. I write poetry because without it, I am a dead engine. She pauses only for a moment, then adds that I should be asked to write an essay about my poetry after sending so much of it to you is idiotic. My poetry is my essay. She folds the ragged-edged sheet twice and stuffs it into an envelope that's already stamped and addressed. She throws on some clothes, runs down the stairs, and goes out the door, leaving it open. She sprints down the block, probably ruining her cold shower with fresh sweat. She doesn't care. She needs to do this before she can change her mind. Doing that would be wrong, because what she has written is right. There's a mailbox on the corner. She drops the envelope inside, then bends over, grasping her knees and breathing hard. I don't care if I win or lose. I don't care. I don't care. She may regret what she wrote later, but not now. Standing at the mailbox, bent over with her wet hair hanging in her face, she knows it's the truth. The work matters. Nothing else. Not prizes, not being published, not being famous. Only the work.